News leading your bulletin at this hour, Zindzi Mandela, the daughter of the late former President Nelson Mandela and struggle icon Winnie-Madikizela Mandela, has died.
Now, the cause of death is not yet known, but Newsroom Africa understands that Mandela had been at her mother's home in Soweto for some time before her passing. Mandela, who would have turned 60 this year, was South Africa's ambassador to Denmark. The information that we have now is a post from her son, Bambata Mandela, confirming her death on social media, saying, "Lala ngoxolo mama." As soon as we have more information on the story, we will bring it to you live.
Absolutely. So let's give you a sense of what we know so far. Our reporter, Sipha Kema, is just outside the Mandela home in Orlando West. That's in Soweto. Sipha joins us now live to give us a sense of what it is we know. So Sipha, of course, this is news just in. Many of us still trying to digest the news. You're outside the family home. What can you ascertain at this hour?
Well, and outside, as we sitting outside the family home, we've noticed there hasn't been much activity. Of course, no cars yet. We haven't been seeing much movement. But also, as you said, that we have also just only confirmed the death of Zindzi Mandela. But also, just to give you, a bit of context on who Zindzi Mandela was. Of course, she is famously known for being former President Nelson Mandela and a struggle stalwart Winnie Mandela's daughter. But she herself was an activist, and during her youth years, she was very vocal against racism during her father's years of incarceration. We've seen her standing on platforms, leading the youth, addressing the youth, fighting against apartheid. And we also know that, of course, she is survived by 4 of her children and grandchildren. Of course, as you mentioned, Michelle mentioned that she spent a bit of time here just before her passing, but also she spent her time here with her mother just before she was appointed in 2014 ambassador of Denmark. And of course, now we know that we confirmed that she has sadly passed away, Ayanda. Now we, of course, standing out here just, of course, to monitor the traffic that's been going in and out. And as soon as we get much confirmation, as soon as we get confirmation from family and any updates, we will bring it straight to you.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll have to try and get a sense of what it is, of course, that will emerge over the next few moments. But I guess paint the picture for us, if you can, Sipha, about what you've been able to see since you've arrived there. I understand you spent a few moments outside the family home already. From the looks of it, it looks quite quiet this morning.
It is quite quiet. We did also try to drive around the compound to see at the back whether there would be activity from inside the yard. We haven't seen much. Since the time we arrived here in the early morning, we only just saw one car going in and out. Of course, we understand that they could be busy with preparations inside, but of course, with the high walls, we can't really see what is happening. Also, something that's interesting is that a lot of people, of course, obviously news just came in, they were also unsure. They received confirmation with us being here. We've seen some of the neighbors coming to ask us if what is being said in the news is actually accurate, and our being here has just confirmed it to them as well. Of course, some of them, they couldn't believe it. A young gentleman who was just here, who passed by, was like, "Now I believe it's true. When I see you outside the gate, I don't believe this. This can't be true." Of course, we know that a lot of people are not taking, or South Africans rather, and of course internationally, are not taking the news rather well. But of course, Ayanda, as you also have said, we are still yet to confirm the cause of her death. But up until then, we will be here outside the family home just to monitor the traffic and see what is happening, and giving you updates from outside Mama Winnie Mandela's home.
All right, well, thanks very much for that. Sipha Kema live to us there from the family home of Winnie-Madikizela Mandela. We understand that is where Zindzi Mandela had been living at the time of her death.